Do you mind if I ask you a quick question? Alright. So, when you think of the video games that you grew up with, whether that was throughout childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, or all of the above, did you ever feel like there were just some games that just refused to leave your memory? Because ever since I entered adulthood and started doing adult things and have even tried getting into more adult interests, the feeling of sailing the Great Sea in Wind Waker still pops up in my mind from time to time. No matter how serious the situation with work or relationships or friends, I can still vividly picture Donald and Goofy falling out of the sky in Traverse Town onto Sora, not knowing the unbelievable world-hopping adventure that I would soon be embarking upon. I remember these worlds that I not only visited, but became a part of, had an impact on when I was growing up with video games. For those who don't know, I am a full-time firefighter outside of this whole YouTube thing, and sometimes my greatest source of motivation and fearlessness is the bravery of Amaterasu in Okami, a game that I think about more or less every day. So, how about we investigate why these games get burned into our memories by first talking about I figured I'd shoot my shot of expressing how the atmospheres of games can create lasting memories within our minds, especially when we experience them as children. When you were a kid, there were likely games that you gravitated towards more based on the environments you experienced within the games. For me, I had more of a pull towards games with cartoony, whimsical atmospheres. Now, this wasn't always the case, of course. I loved games like Devil May Cry, God of War, the Batman Arkham games. I mean, these were all amazing, and I remember these games more for their stories, gameplay, and the characters they provided me with. But as far as atmospheres go, something always hit different about the cartoonish style for me. A memory that always sticks with me is experiencing the bright and watercolored art style and environments of Okami. I would spend hours just running around Nippon and gazing up at the beautifully immersive skies in both night with the abundance of celestial starscapes and the day with the bright sunny skybox. And the best part of this is that you had the ability to change between the times of day with just the stroke of a celestial brush. Depending on my mood, I would switch between night to feel more cozy and relaxed, and then the day when I was feeling adventurous and energy to take on tasks. This would happen all the time in Wind Waker 2 with the Song of Passing. Obviously, the skyboxes in Wind Waker are some of the best in all of gaming. I'll always remember the beautiful sunrises that I would experience on the Great Sea, and I would honestly become speechless as a kid, and as an adult today. But also the unbelievably cozy environmental changes that would occur as well. Whenever there was a rainstorm in the game, I would always huddle up into one of the stores or inside of the pirate ship, and that shit would just feel like a warm blanket wrapped around you. I did these things because I would feel so immersed in the worlds that I didn't know that I was creating memories for myself down the line. With atmosphere and environments and the nostalgia you get from them, I think it all comes down to the fact that you were fully present in those moments, and you became so immersed that you were essentially one with the virtual environment. I could go on and on about this topic, but there are so many other games with immersive environments and skyboxes and atmospheres that I could gush over. But the next and final thing that I think we gotta talk about is...
Oh man, don't flatter yourself. You're just another one of those old attractions in this movie land.
What? Wait a minute, Jet. You mean to tell me you knew this world was called Movie Land?
Kind of a broad umbrella here, but I'm sure some watching this might resonate with iconic characters, their personalities, and their place within the stories, and the fact that these are the bedrock of which games impact us over time. Those moments that get burned into your memory in the same way that real-life memories get ingrained into ours. I can just as well remember my first Little League hit just as much as I can Beautiful Joe's transformation routine and catchphrase. I can just as well remember my first pet hamster passing away when I was 5, and in the same vein, remember Sora's sacrifice to save Kairi and become a Heartless. I think the way you relate to a character has a lot to do with this. I've touched upon this in a previous video about Kingdom Hearts, but my role model as a kid was Sora, and especially Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2, because I always loved just how friendly and compassionate he was toward his friends and the acquaintances he would meet in each world. A big part of how I became an optimist was because of Sora, and Link, and Dante, and Jack, and Joe, and etc. Link's drive to tackle hardships and dungeons and monsters in order to protect his kingdom and loved ones. Dante's cool-headed, humorous, yet honorable demeanor in still taking on responsibilities towards the greater good, even when he doesn't really want to. Jack's stoic confidence and competence in being a badass that just gets shit done. And Beautiful Joe, for always remembering to add style and flair to life, amidst all the debauchery and obstacles it throws at us. All of these characters and more had trials to overcome, and while some experienced fear and still dealt with it, or had no fear at all, these moments inspired me to never give up, as cliche as that might sound. And just as much as seeing Beautiful Joe and Dante riff off to their enemies before a battle, seeing Link struggle to say goodbye to his grandma before leaving for a life of adventure also stuck with me. And this is going to lead me to my conclusion on this, the most important part of video games that make them refuse to be forgotten. The lessons of not being afraid to fight and stand up for what's right. The lessons of not taking life too seriously and remembering to enjoy the ride. The lessons of valuing your friends, family, and loved ones, knowing that one day, this beautiful adventure has to come to an end. The lessons in being humble, but also advocating for yourself and fighting for what's rightfully yours. Games refuse to be forgotten not just because they are beautiful and nostalgic and immersive. Those are all extremely important to the big picture, but they also refuse to be forgotten by us because they had something to teach us, something to say, hey, no matter where you go or what you do in life, just remember me from time to time, alright? Something deeper than nostalgia. Something more vivid than just rose-tinted glasses. We need video games, and I'm so lucky to have visited these worlds and to have met these characters so that I could become a better person at the end of the day. To Jack, to Sly, to Link, to Sora, to Mario, to all the characters who helped raise me, I say,
I'll try it your way for once. Remember what we used to say? Jackpot.